So here's a paragraph that you wrote to the prompt, describe a time when you applied for a job, but you didn't have experience that they recommend having. So did that actually happen to you?
Oh, multiple times, almost every time. Yeah, I had an interview.
Okay, well, then hopefully we have some good pearls of wisdom for people in this here, right?
Yes.
So some suggestions before we get started is your paragraph is 3 sentences, which I like to recommend a paragraph be preferably 5, but at least 4 sentences. So you have a topic sentence, a concluding sentence, and then 2 or 3 sentences in the middle to support your topic sentence.
I see.
Okay. And overall, you do write longer sentences, which actually is a good thing, but then that might be a possible way where a long sentence could perhaps be broken up into 2 shorter sentences.
Gotcha.
Okay. And again, some of these are just suggestions, and you as the writer need to decide if that's the message you want to convey and how you want to convey it. So,
Okay.
ready to get started?
Yep.
Okie dokie. So would you read for me your first sentence?
When I applied for my previous position.
Good. Good catch on that. Good job.
Thank you. One of the requirements was to have
say requirements.
Requirement.
There you go.
Okay. One of the requirements was to have 2 or 3 years of experience of international trade.
Okay. All right. Good. So I absolutely get what you're saying in there. Some ideas might be, would you want to make it more specific by saying what was your previous position?
Yeah, my position was overseas. It's called overseas marketing and international trade. Does it make sense?
Well, not to me, because I don't have any experience in that. So, if you want to talk teaching, grammar, mathematics, okay. But okay, when I applied for my previous position would that be right? Was it overseeing, you said?
Overseas marketing.
Oh, overseas.
Yes.
Overseas marketing.
And international trade.
Okay. So what if you said, when I applied for my previous position in overseas marketing and international trade, and then make it a topic sentence by saying, I didn't have all the experience they recommended.
Yeah.
Now, did they recommend it or, well, let's go with recommended.
Yeah, recommended. Yeah.
Does that, because to me, that gives it like right up, okay, here's what it is. In some ways, you've kind of restated your prompt in your topic sentence, which is a really good writing style, because then the reader clearly knows where the rest of the paragraph is going.
Right.
Okay. Then now we need to make this the start of a new sentence. So then you have one of the requirements was to have, oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah, you already read this to me. So one of the requirements was to have 2 or 3 years of experience. So in writing, the digits, I always think of it as single digits. So 0 to 9 should be spelled out.
Okay. And
not typed as a digit. So you'd want to spell it out as 2 TWO and 3 THREE.
So for example, not the numbers from like 11 to whatever 100. Yeah.
Those you would use digits.
Okay.
Unless it's the first word in the sentence.
Okay. Gotcha.
So if you were to say 12 years ago, then you would spell out 12. But if you said, I had my first job 12 years ago, then you want to do 1, 2. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
And those are just some rules of writing. Okay. So one of the requirements was to have 2 or 3 years of experience And I think since you've said international trade, do you think you could get rid of that here?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. So, right. So how does this sound to you?
Yeah, it sounds better. Absolutely.
Because we really combined, we took your one sentence, kind of added a bit, and then broke it up into two. So when I applied for my previous position in overseas marketing and international trade, I didn't have all the experience they recommended.
Yeah.
One of the requirements was to have 2 or 3 years of experience.
Gotcha.
Does that work?
Yep, it does.
Okay, excellent. And then how about this sentence? Would you read this one for me?
Yeah, sure. By the time I applied, I just graduated from college. So of course I didn't have that experience.
Okay. Some suggestions. I wonder if the word at would be better than by, because it means like, at that exact time, not like time evolved. So at the time I applied, I would add the word had. I had just graduated from college.
Okay.
Okay. And then I would recommend that we end your sentence there and we use this to form a second sentence. So my thought would be to say, by the time I applied, I had just graduated from college. So I feel like that's a concise thought. And then here you could say, see if I can make this come out right. And then you'd say, of course, I didn't have that experience. And then what if you added the word yet?
Yeah.
Because that implies you're gonna get it.
Right.
Okay. So at the time I applied, I had just graduated from college. Of course, I didn't have that experience yet.
Sounds much better.
And you know what I think I might add here? Recommended.
More specific.
Yep, exactly that. Just to be more specific, because it's been a sentence or so ago that we talked about experience. So that just brings the reader back to what experience are you talking about? Oh, what was recommended.
Yeah, right.
And here's what we have as your last sentence. So read that one for me, if you would, please.
Alrighty. However, fortunately, when I showed my willingness to adapt and learn faster, they seemed satisfied with my answer.
Okay. And I like that sentence. I wonder if you need the word however. I might just, if there are words, it seems kind of odd because here I'm adding some words for you, but if there are words that aren't needed, I think especially in a business writing situation, it's good to remove any of those unwanted words. So what do you think if we removed however, oops, that's not what I wanted it to do. And we just capitalize your F and start with fortunately.
Okay.
Fortunately, when I showed my willingness to adapt and learn faster, they seemed satisfied with my answer. Does that still, if we remove however, does it still convey your same meaning?
It does, yeah.
Okay. So I would perhaps say, where did I go here? That when I show my willingness to adapt, and I wouldn't necessarily say learn faster, because to me, faster is, gosh, it's called the comparative, but it would be fast, faster, fastest. So if you're talking about one thing, you would say fast. If you're comparing two things, you would say faster.
Right.
And if it's more than that, you would say fastest.
Fastest, yeah.
So I really think the word here that you're looking for is fast.
Right.
But I also think you could use the word quickly.
Quickly, okay.
Yeah, they seem satisfied with my answer. A question I would have for you, who is they?
Interviewers.
So I mean, I kind of know that because I've read the whole paragraph, but I think maybe then it would be, since it's been a while since you've referred to them, I think I might actually say the interviewers.
Right.
Seem satisfied with my answer. So does that work for you?
It does, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, of course. However, even though you got rid of however, I'm going to use it. I would like to see you add one sentence to kind of wrap up the whole paragraph, because I feel like this right here is your whole topic.
Right.
And then you've given some supporting information.
Mm-hmm.
And so is there one sentence we can compose together that would wrap up your whole paragraph for you? Like, for example, did you get the job?
I did.
Okay. So that could be a great last sentence. Or I thought you could maybe add your personal opinion about needing experience when you're brand new. You know, my thought on that was, if no one's going to hire you, how do you get the experience that they require?
Oh, yeah. That
So
sounds better than,
does that sound better than, yay, me, I
whatever.
got the job?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So maybe something along the lines of, and correct me if these are not your thoughts, right?
Mhm.
So requiring job experience to start a position
Mhm.
can be frustrating.
Oh, period.
Not yet, but would
Okay.
you agree with that it could
I
be frustrating?
absolutely agree with that sentence. Yeah.
Okay. Especially for someone trying to get into the field,
Nice.
which I find that to be true, right? Like
Yeah,
when I started
absolutely.
my first teaching job, you
Mhm.
know, they like you to have experience. Oh, okay, well, I'm brand new. I'm fresh out of college. How do I get that experience? So
Exactly.
that is obviously true in other professions.
Yep.
So
So
sound good?
one quick question. Is it okay
Yes.
if I like put bottom line is in front
Oh,
of requiring job?
love it.
Ah, yeah.
Yep.
That is the like expression that I learned from my English, especially
Yes.
from you.
Yep. I think that's when you add something like this, that tells the reader that you have a good command of English language and you know common expressions, as opposed to just looking up a word in the dictionary.
Right, right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Would you like to try reading it from start to finish, or do we have too many confusing changes?
No, I can try. I'm
Okay.
sure. Yeah, I can pull that
Yep.
up.
Good. Well, I think it's always good, especially for you, the writer, to read it aloud, because then you'll be like, okay, that conveys the message I was trying to get across.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay, here you go. 1, 2,
Here you
3.
go. When I applied for my previous position in
Position.
overseas marketing and international trade, I didn't have all the experience they recommended. One of the requirements was to have 2 or 3 years of experience. At the time I applied, I had just graduated from college. Of course, I didn't have that recommended experience yet. Fortunately, when I showed my willingness to adapt and learn fast, the interviewers seemed satisfied with my answer. The bottom line is that requiring job experience to start a position can be frustrating, especially for someone trying to get into the field.
Yeah, good. And you know what? When you read that,
Mhm.
I think I like the word quickly better.
Quickly. Yeah.
So, right. And that's why you want to read it back to yourself, because I thought either word sounded fine when we were talking about it. But when you read it back, I'm like, no, I think quickly works better.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck in your job interviews.